Chris Otten. Okay.
And also, being good economic and stewards of green and sustainable practice. So it's early days for us, but we're very excited to be on board.
Thank you. Mr. Otten?
Thank you, Councilmember Bowser and the Committee on Economic Development. My name is Chris Otten. I'm representing the DC for Reasonable Development, which is a non-hierarchical nonprofit association here in the district. And just like Mr. Waters was asked by DMPED to come, I was asked by my neighbors to come and testify about DMPED. DMPED, of course, actually before I want to get into that, I just want to announce this Saturday, the February 15th at 10 a.m., DC Public Library officials will be unveiling designs that include building luxury condos on top of the King Memorial Library. That's this Saturday starting at 10 a.m. at MLK Library. Also, I want to point out that during the DHCD testimony, it's good to hear that finally a real-time database of affordable housing is going to be developed. It is 2014 after all, and it is the #1 priority in the city. But let's get to DMPED, the rogue agency negotiating the most controversial deals in the city. Under Victor Hoskins' lead, you even hear developers today who are supposed to be implementing the new communities program complaining profusely about their relationship with DMPED. This committee and the TV audience then must also realize the terrible relationship that DMPED has with thousands of DC residents who face serious consequences due to their decisions. To the people, DMPED misrepresents deals, mischaracterizes support for their deals, and lies under oath to quickly shepherd along land dispositions and zoning entitlements. Not to mention the purposeful poor planning that leads to displacement and major public property and subsidy giveaways. Why is this important? By every dollar left on the table by DMPED is one less dollar for libraries, fire stations, and of course housing. And we're not talking about a few dollars here, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars when you look at all of the public parcels that DMPED is brokering away. For example, the Skyland disposition, which you all looked at today, and I'd really like to ask how deep down we've looked at the Land Disposition Agreement. It's an $89 million giveaway that was calculated by Phil Mendelson during the hearings. And yet we didn't see anybody bat an eye when Rappaport Properties, the developer, said they deserve this deal because they're building significant affordable housing at 120% AMI. So that's affordable housing for people making $100,000 a year. So the devils are in the details, and the details are in the LDAs. Now, Mr. Hawkins, I was here a year ago. We've been talking about the LDA process and all of that for a long time, starting with the West End, where I really started grinding my teeth on these deals. And we were told that we would get a good, acute examination of what LDAs mean and how it translates the RFP process to the final disposition. We've not had that answer. We've had no look at that. And if you look at the RFPs to the transition to the LDAs, there's significant loss to the city. The lies in the Heinz School deal, as noted earlier, contributions and donations that later are paid out by the district. West End deal, lying under oath, saying that we were getting top of the market value for those 3 very valuable properties only blocks away from the White House. But yet we're getting 1/5 of the value there.
Okay, Mr. Arnn, I have to ask you to wrap up.
Okay, let me just close out. Why is it okay for DMPED and Hoskins' team to lie to the public and to this council and committee and confuse the work, the underlying terms of these deals? We really need analysis done on that and how the RFPs stack up to the final LDAs.
True. Mr. Blair?
Hello, Madam Chairwoman. My name is Philip Blair. The testimony I am about to give is part of a longer written testimony. Partners and their astroturfing people out of Baltimore.
Okay. All right. Those are my questions. Thank you for your testimony.
Councilmember, will we get the the promised analysis of LDAs.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Otten, for raising that question. And we are continuing to work on it. You know what we discovered in that project is that all of those documents were very hard to come by. And so we still don't have all of the requested documents, but it speaks to a very large problem of kind of the government not putting these documents in a easy format for the public to see, for the council to see, or to investigate. So again, I think that's one of those issues where I don't assume any kind of nefarious intent, just that business as usual has been that those documents weren't made public. In some cases, the CFO has some of the documents, DMPED has some of the documents, Housing Authority has some of the documents. So it has been a kind of a daunting project, but we're still working on it.
And you can see the results. I mean, there may not be nefarious things going on here. That's arguable. But each one of these projects where this information hasn't been shared is now wrapped up in court. I mean, Hine, West End, we heard Hine earlier today, the West End.
Right, we're saying the same thing.
Right, I mean,
So, but I gotta,
the thing that we need,
Mr.
though,
Otten,
if I could just conclude, what we asked a year ago from this committee was an analysis, and Mr. Hawkins, you said you would do this, is see how the RFP, which is where DMPED
Mr. Otten,
does come
Mr.
together.
Otten,
How do the RFPs stack up to the LDAs? That's what we need from this
Mr.
committee.
Otten.
We're not seeing it. The
Mr.
rubber's not
Otten.
hitting the road.
Thank you.
Councilmember, no, please, listen. You said you would
have-
do this a
I-
year ago. It never happened.
Mr. Otten.
You want votes?
Excuse me, Mr.
No,
Otten.
excuse me.
Your
You want
time is
votes?
up, and what I have already put on the record.
tired of
Mr.
waiting.
Otten,
We're tired-
I'm not going to argue with you.
Tired of waiting.
Thank you, Mr.
We're
Otten.
tired of waiting. We are
Thank you.
tired of waiting.
You are out of order,
We are
sir.
tired of waiting
Mr.
for this
Otten.
information. Can you hear?
You are out of order. Out of order. Order.
We are tired of waiting for this information. We are tired of waiting for this information. We are tired of waiting for this information. We are tired of waiting for this information.
You are out of order. Out of order.
We are tired of waiting for this information.
You are out of order. Out of order.
Well, the West is a message. Well, the West says, yes, well, the West is come for the way. Well, the West is a message, yes, well, love it.
Thank you, Mr. Otten. Thank you, Mr. Otten. Who's next?